looked like he was the director of Splash, Cocoon, Apollo 13, and A Beautiful Mind, where he actually got an Oscar for Best Director. Howard made his directing debut with the low-budget film Grand Theft Auto. I wonder if that's where the video game came from, the Grand Theft Auto. That's a movie I've never seen either. After making a deal with Roger Corman, who let Howard direct a film in exchange for Howard starring in Eat My Dust in 1976. Andy Griffith Show, I have seen that. I have not watched... I've seen portions of Happy Days, but that's one I haven't really watched either. Haven't seen any of these movies that they're talking about. I know Apollo 13 was a big movie, and I have never seen that. A Beautiful Mind, I'm not sure if I've seen that or not. I don't remember the storyline on it. In 1954, Catherine Bach, the Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard, was born March 1st, 1954. So, Dad, I know that she's one of your favorite actresses, so you need to tell her happy birthday, I guess. So, yeah. Let's see. Alan Thicke. I wonder if he's related to Robin Thicke, I guess. Let's see. Alan Thicke, Alan Willis Jeffrey, born in 1947. He died in 2016. And he's a Canadian actor. He was in Growing Pains as Jason Seaver and Animal Crack-Ups as the host. Interesting. Growing Pains, another TV show I have not watched. And let's see. So we have... Dirk Benedict. Yeah, 1945. He was Face Man in the A-Team. And he was in Battlestar Galactica as Starbuck. I have seen the A-Team. And just a little quick note on the A-Team. The guys who are in that movie are terrible shots. They must have gotten the same actors from the A-Team and put them in Star Wars to be the Stormtroopers. Because their accuracy on the Star Wars and on A-Team is, oh my goodness, it's horrible. But yeah, anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. So Dirk Benedict, he's Face Man. Face was always pretty funny. I liked watching the A-Team. And I have not seen the Battlestar Galactica. Not surprising, probably, to a lot of people. Robert Conrad Robert Falk was his real name. He was born in 1935 and died this year, actually, in 2020. He was a TV actor in The Wild Wild West as the secret agent for Jim West. I've seen a few of those episodes. Those could get a little crazy. And Baba Black Sheep as Pappy Boyington. Conrad had an undefeated professional boxing record of 4-0-1. Interesting. So he was a professional boxer as well, and was inducted into the Stuntman's Hall of Fame for his stunt work on the Wild Wild West. So I wonder if that means that all of the stunts that were. Now that's a question. I wonder if all the TV or most TV actors back in the day did their own stunts. I know that Jackie Chan, he still does all his stunts, and I think that Tom Cruise does a majority of his stunts as well. So I wonder if a majority of the actors back then did their own stunts then too. Paul Hartman was an actor as well. He was born in 1904, died in 1973. He was on the Andy Griffith Show as Emmett the Fix-It Man. And Glenn Miller, I have heard of this guy, the Glenn Miller Band. He was an American band leader. He was the world's most popular dance band of the time. And he has songs called The Moonlight Serenade and The Chattanooga Choo Choo. Let's see who all we else. Aha! Another close one that's going to be close and near dear to my heart is the William Jenkins Worth. Born 1794, died in 1849. He was an American general for whom Fort Worth, Texas, is named. So, that's a proud moment for us Fort Worthians, whatever we are called. And let's just Texans in general, let's just do that. So, that is the notable births on this date in March 1st in history. Now, continuing on, good grief. Wow, I told you there's a lot of things going on today. So, notable deaths was Jackie Coogan, is John Leslie Coogan. He died March 1st, 1984. He was an actor from the Addams Family. He was Uncle Fester in the Addams Family. Yeah, I remember. I've seen the Addams Family. That's a great show. I love that show. At age 7, he starred with Charlie Chaplin in The Kid in 1921 and became one of the highest-paid actors of his time. Although Coogan had earned millions as a child star, when he turned 21, he found out that his mother and stepfather had spent almost all of it on expensive clothes, jewelry, and cars. Seriously! Oh my goodness. What was it about people back in those days where they just took advantage of people over and over and over again? Man, this is crazy because that brings to my mind the Three Stooges. I don't remember the actors' names who were actually the Three Stooges, but that's what happened to them. They had, I mean, you would have thought that with as wild and crazy as the Three Stooges were, that they would have been complete millionaires and wouldn't have had to work another day in their life. It's not true. They actually, from what I've heard from people and just listening to stories and things like that, there actually was a couple of them went bankrupt and was absolutely destitute because their manager took advantage of them, and somehow or another they either didn't get paid for what they were doing, or he spent all their money, or something stupid like that, where these guys got completely taken advantage of. Stupid. Man, that stuff like that just really ticks me off. Anyway, let's see. Coogan sued them, but after legal expenses, only received $126,000, which still ain't bad, of the remaining $250,000. Wow. So he earned millions as a star, and then he finds out that he only has $250,000 left, and he doesn't even get all of that. This incident resulted in the 1939 enactment of the California Child Actors Bill, known as the Coogan's Law. It required that a child actor's employer set aside 15% of the earnings in a trust called a Coogan account, and also specified the actor's schooling, work hours, and time off. That's okay. That was smart. Good. I'm glad something good came from all of that. Let's see. Coogan was married to actress... Oh, wow. I didn't know that. He was married to actress Betty Grable from 1937 until their divorce in 1939. During World War II, he was a glider pilot and landed British troops in jeeps behind Japanese lines at night in the Burma campaign. Wow, that's really cool. So, he was quite the character. No pun intended. And his character was quite the character, too. Oh my goodness, wow. He was crazy. The world's shortest woman died in 1895. Dutch dwarf, gotta be careful saying that word nowadays. Pauline Musters. Pauline Musters, called the Dutch dwarf. Wow, okay. World's shortest adult. She was 24 inches tall at age 19. Only 2 foot tall. Wow. I think my son's bigger than that now, almost. He's getting close. That's about the size of my son right now. That's crazy. Bonnie Franklin died March 1st, 2013. She was an actress and is best known for her role as Anne Romano on TV's One Day at a Time. Not familiar with that show. She made her Broadway debut in 1970 in the musical Applause, earning a Tony Award nomination, while her recording of the show's title track Applause was the most successful Broadway song of the season. She died of pancreatic cancer at age 69. There's an interesting tidbit for all of our Broadway people out there. And everyone who... Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm kind of reading the introduction on this one. Edwin Herbert Land died March 1st, 1991. He was an inventor and created the Polaroid instant camera, developed Polaroid lenses, and founded the Polaroid Corporation. All of you people who love selfies and love having your camera on your phone and all of those different things, you can thank this guy, Edward Land, for that. He was the one who invented the Polaroid the instant camera. Boy, I wonder if he died in 1991. I wonder what he would think about now. The Polaroid was that one with the little that it would you take the picture and it would automatically print out the picture right there for you. That's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I wonder what he would think nowadays whenever you have a over 3,000 of them saved on your phone. But oh, speaking of the Three Stooges, one of them's name was Joe Besser, and he died in 1988. American comedian, member of the Three Stooges. He replaced Shemp after his death in 1955. There you go. Speak of the Stooges. Brace Beamer died in 1965. He was an American radio actor. This is kind of personal to me because I am trying to get into doing voiceovers and stuff. So he was the announcer for the Lone Ranger from its first radio broadcast in 1933. When the voice of the Lone Ranger, Earl Grazer, died in a car accident, Beamer took over the role of the Lone Ranger character until the end of the series in 1954. Huh. All right, so the Lone Ranger died today. That's sad. I did listen to the Lone Ranger. I love listening to the Lone Ranger. It's a cool show. All right, so that is Today in History. Wow, there's a lot going on in history today. Wow. There's several of these I actually cut out and didn't use because it's taken so long, and I'm sure that I don't know if everybody would want to hear everything that I actually had spoken and talked about. But anyway, so that was Today in History, and I got my information from thisdaytrivia.com. And when we come back, it's going to be the joke of the week. Stick around, people. We'll be back in a minute. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. I am so glad that you are here and so glad that you have stuck around to listen to the rest of this show. And now it is time for our Joke of the Week. A poodle and a collie are walking together when the poodle suddenly unloads on his friend. "My life is a mess," he says. "My owner is mean, my girlfriend ran away with a schnauzer, and I'm as jittery as a cat." "Why don't you go see a psychiatrist?" suggests the collie. "I can't," says the poodle. "I'm not allowed on the couch." Okay. That's terrible. Oh, boy. All right, so that is your joke of the week, and now I'm going to open up a new segment. Instead of calling it the rambling thoughts from the rambling mind of Todd Napper, I'm actually going to be starting out a new segment called "What's Going On?" I said, hey, what's going on? All right, this segment is called "What's Going On?" and I'm titled it that because it's actually going to be talking about what's going on in my life and what's gone on in the past week or two. Some things that I'm working on and just a little bit about my life. And if I can't think of anything that's been going on in the week of my life, I'll just go back in history and tell you a little bit about myself. But this week, there have been a few things that's been going on. So I'm going to tell you about what's been going on. So just a little bit of what's been happening in my life. I was able to actually get some new trucks put on, get some new brakes put on my truck. I've had the truck for a little over 5 years, and still, this is the first time I've put brakes on it, so I think it was about time. And honestly, though, I mean, looking at the rotors and the pads, it actually still looks pretty good. So I must be doing something right. I must not be riding the brakes or slamming on the brakes or something. So I was able to do that last Sunday. Actually, my dad did majority of the work. He's one of those dads that likes to get hands-on and doesn't really matter how much you protest or say that you want to do it yourself. He pretty much just jumps in there and takes care of it himself. And my dad's amazing. He's an awesome guy, and he's always been like that. If you ever need anything, if you need something done for any of the kids, and he's always happy to jump in and help us out. And I didn't even go over there for him to do it either. I went over there so that I could use his tools because I don't have any that I can keep here at my resident. And so I don't have any